sports world breaking news?
Yes.
Mission statements are dead. Mission statements are dead. Let me prove it to you. That was the theme from Star Trek. There was a main crew of Star Trek that was on the Starship Enterprise. What was the mission of the Starship Enterprise? Very good. To boldly go where no man has gone before. Excellent. Now, what's the mission statement of your organization? We know the theme song and the mission statement from a program that was on TV in the 1960s. Yet we don't know our company's mission statement. Something not quite right there. See, the mission statement in an organization is supposed to be that core that drives what the organization does. It's supposed to be what all decisions are based on, how we guide our choices and what we do as far as our goals and objectives. I work with managers and leaders every week that have no idea what their mission statement is. So how are they making their decisions? So today we're going to learn about strategic thinking and strategic planning, and I can guarantee you that things you hear today will break all the rules that you've learned over the years. We're going to break all the rules. The first thing that we have to think about is how we can think differently. Because in order to do things differently, it has to start with the thinking. The thinking becomes our emotions, that's who we are, what we are being, and then it affects our doing. So what we want to do is learn how to think differently. So let's do this. You all have a handout there. I want you to do this activity with me. I want you to think of a number between 1 and 10 and write it down. Any number between 1 and 10. Now multiply that times 9. If you need help, ask the person sitting next to you. Got it? Now in your answer you probably have 2 digits. Take the 2 digits of just the answer, the 2 numbers in your answer, and add those together. The 2 numbers in your answer, add those together. Now subtract 5. Take that number and translate it to a letter of the alphabet. So 1 is A, 2B, 3C, 4D, 5E. You with me? Okay, look at that letter and think of a country that begins with that letter. No cheating off your partner on this one. You got a country? Look at the second letter of the country. Think of an animal that begins with that second letter. And how many of you are writing an elephant in Denmark? Pretty good, huh? Elephant in Denmark. Okay, how many of you did something a little bit different and you thought like elk or emu or ostrich in Dominican Republic? A little bit different. See, the challenge is that about 80% of people will write down elephant in Denmark, and about 20% will think differently. So here we are, we think we're going to do some strategic thinking to figure out how we're going to move our company ahead of the competition. And chances are you're thinking like everybody else was thinking anyhow. It's really hard to break out of the way we've always done things. And the reason that is that because change is so difficult. We are creatures of habit. We always go back to what we know. We're like rubber bands. I was with a client today and they were saying, my employees act like they're changing and they do it for a little bit, then they go right back to what they were doing before. I said, well, you can expect that. We're going to go back to what we're familiar with. See, on your paper there, I want you to draw a box. Draw a box. Make it big enough that you can put things inside of it. So draw a box. Now draw you inside that box. Stick figures are fine. We're not grading you for your art. That's you, and that's your life. How's it look? A bigger box is what I'm thinking, right? See, when we live inside that box that you drew is everything you know, everything you've learned, everything you've experienced up until this point. Anytime you want to do something differently, you have to get outside that box. But as you get close to the borders of that box, you run right into what I call FUD. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And you can write that down as a little reminder for you. FUD. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The closer you get to that border to break out, you're going to run into that FUD so hard that most times what people will do is go right back into the box. because the fear, uncertainty, and doubt is so overwhelming, they can't break through. So perhaps you or you know somebody who has stayed in a box that could have been pretty painful, but they stayed there because at least they knew that pain. I don't know what that pain looks like over there. I know this pain. It may not be good, I don't like it, but I don't know what that is over there. So that FUD keeps people in their box. And the thing is that if you want to do something different, there's always a gap. There's a gap between where you are and where you want to be. And that gap is always a risk you haven't taken. The gap is always a risk you haven't taken. So if you want to be different, to do different, you're going to have to break through that FUD. So let's say you get up all your courage and you break through that FUD. Guess where you are again? Back in another box, exactly. You're back in another box because it's everything you know, everything you've learned, everything you've experienced. So life is just a series of breaking through the FUD. And when you look at people who are successful, however you want to define success, what they've done is broken through the FUD. Now there's only two reasons that we will break through the FUD. There's only two motivators, pain and gain. Pain and gain, that's it. I read a study recently that said that 90% of people who are changing only to move away from pain. 90%. Only 10% are actually moving towards something that they want. So when we're taking the concept of strategic thinking and putting it into a strategic plan, we need to be thinking about your customer base. Who are your customers? Are your customers in that 90% that are just trying to alleviate pain? Or are they in that 10% that really want something better? Because your customers are seeing 3,000 marketing messages every day. How is yours separated from that? Is your message even connecting with them? If all they want to do is alleviate pain, take this pill and lose weight while you sleep, they're not interested in the health club membership and 30 to 60 minutes of aerobic and weight activity every day. That's not what's going to motivate them. So you have to think about who your customers are and is your marketing message connecting. Most of the time in marketing messages we talk benefit language, right? We've got the benefit of our product or service. Your customers may not be interested in benefit. Your customers, your marketing message may not be hitting your customers, your target market at all. So that's the first thing we need to be looking at and thinking about differently. Your marketing message perhaps should not just concentrate on the features and the benefits. Make sure that it's hitting your target market. Now let's go back to where I started in the beginning, talking about mission statements. I want you to think about your company's mission statement. So go ahead and get out your princess and pirate gear and put it on. If you got a pirate patch, feel free to put it on. You put on my tiara, you got your princess wands. Oh, you all look great. Very good. Excellent. Now remember, we talked that your mission statement should be that center theme of your organization that drives all decisions, all goals, all objectives, how you're moving forward, how you're training employees. Everything should go back to that mission statement. Only no one knows what the mission statement is. And the reason no one knows is because when you think mission statement, you think, could we get any more boring? Oh my gosh, we're going to do strategic planning this week? I'm sure I've got other things I have to do. No one gets excited about it. I want us to throw out the idea of mission statement, and I would like you to think about creating what I call a crusade. I want us to create zealots in our organization. No one in your organization, your employees, your managers, your leaders, and certainly not your customers care one bit about your mission statement. If we can create zealots, create a crusade where it becomes a heart issue, where we can motivate people by emotion, then we can get people on board with us. So, you are now employees at a company that plans princess and pirate parties. The company is called The Booty and the Bounty. It's our mission, it's all, what we want to do is create parties that are memorable for a lifetime. We want to be so unique, so different. Just come up with ideas that our customers can't help but refer us to everyone they know, because they had so much fun, and it was perfectly painless for them to do it. We managed everything for them. So I want you to think for just a minute about what ideas you might come up with to create a crusade, some zealots for a Princess Pirate Party. Think about, what would you do with invitations? What would you do for food? How about drinks, entertainment? Anything else you might want to think of on that? You got invitations, you got entertainment, you got food, you got drinks. Okay, let me start with one. Let's say that what we do at Princess Pirate Parties is we start every sentence that we say with either "Pirates rule the sea," or perhaps "Someday my prince will come." Okay, what do you think we could do with invitations? Go ahead and yell something out. What about invitations? What would be fun? A ship? Good, okay.
Three-dimensional.
Three-dimensional, good.
Treasures.
Treasures, I like it.
Frogs.
Frogs. Good.
There's a lot of frogs before you find your prince.
Oh, very creative. I like it. Good. I have been thinking for invitations like we could have a parrot deliver them. If we're doing the princess one, perhaps we could like bake cookies in the shape of a crown if you're invited to. That could be fun. Good. Everyone did great. You got it. You got the idea. Okay, food. What could we do with food there?
Rum.
Rum. I got rum in the drink category. Yes, I did. Yeah. What else?
Rum cake.
Rum cake. Good. Good. One thing I was thinking is that we could create like a little hot dog and then put a little like staff there and make a wedge of cheese, the flag, and that could be like a little pirate boat. That'd be fun. We need lots of like pink fluffy things, like marshmallowy something also.
Cupcakes.
Cupcakes. That's good. That's really good. Really good. Okay, drinks. We got rum, right? Entertainment.
Pirate ship.
Pirate ship. Walk the plank. Good. Huh?
Talking parrot.
Talking parrot. Good.
Frog
Very
kissing
good.
contest.
Frog what?
Frog kissing.
Frog kissing. I think it's frog eating. We're eating frog. Okay, frog kissing contest. Very good. Very good. See, now let's just stop for a second. Imagine what your workplace would look like if people were actually having this much fun talking about the strategies for your business. Because the strategies that happen when you have this culture, when you're on this crusade, is that you're not just going to get ideas one day and then that's it. The ideas will keep generating. People will be looking for things. They'll be out somewhere and they'll think, that would be great to add to our mix for our parties. We should add that in. The heart issue is where you get people motivated. So here's what I would like for you to do. I want you to think about your customers. I want you to think about, are you creating lasting memories with them that you want to create? Are they talking about you to their friends, their family, saying how you created a lifetime of memories for them, dealing with you with something that they would highly recommend? Here's something that I'm going to challenge you to do this week, and you're going to have to seriously break through some FUD to make it happen. I want you to email all your customers, and I want you to ask them, well, how does it feel when you work with me? What kind of feeling do you get when you work with our company? Be open to the feedback that you get. That will be the start of the creation of your crusade. When you get those, whether it's favorable or not favorable, you'll be able to start really working on, how can I build zealots in the organization? What's good that we should build on? What should we be working on changing? And I would like for you to say with me one time, just as we close, Pirates rule the sea!
Pirates rule the sea!
Very good. Good job.